What's going on, everyone? Clutch City Chronicles back here with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about December 15th. Why is that date so special? Because legit, a majority of the NBA will be eligible to be traded in any sort of trade scenario. Basically, anyone that signed a new contract this past offseason will be eligible to be traded. And honestly, this is a big deal for the Houston Rockets because they signed David Nwaba to a 3-year, $15 million contract. They signed Daniel Theis to a 4-year, $36 million contract. And both those players are barely in the rotation for the Houston Rockets. And they're basically serving no purpose whatsoever for the Rockets. And it doesn't take away from them as individual players. They're still good players. It's just they have no use on the Houston Rockets, so there's really no point in keeping them around. And the fact of the matter is, I think contenders could really use guys like David Nwaba and Daniel Theis, as they're both defensive anchors in their own right. And they shouldn't be hard to move whatsoever. So if I'm Rafael Stone, I'm looking to shop both those players, as right now they got good contracts, but they're not really, playing for the Houston Rockets. So there's really no point in keeping them around and wasting their time. And speaking of wasting of time, John Wall most likely will not play this season. Why I say that is because he has an option for about $47 million for next season. And the thing about that is, essentially, he will only have 1 year left on his contract, meaning a buyout is not out of the realm. So the Houston Rockets will most likely buy out John Wall next offseason. And a buyout for John Wall means contenders will line up and attempt to basically sign him to a 1 or 2 year deal, because he is what every contender needs, but he's also something that contenders really can't get because of his hefty contract. But overall, that is how John Wall will leave the Houston Rockets without a doubt. It's going to be through buyout, because there have been interest in John Wall, but due to his contract, many people just turn away from John Wall, and that's the big issue right now. But he will most likely be bought out in his final year of his deal, and that's how John Wall leaves Houston. And then we lead to the final piece for the Rockets that most likely will be moved maybe during the season around the trade deadline, and that is Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon these past few games has been very productive. He has provided much needed assistance for the Rockets. He's been a big part of our winning streak, and overall he's been just playing exceptional basketball. And I really hope that has brought up his trade value, because in my opinion, he might have a pretty hefty contract, but he is probably our most tradable piece because of how well he's been playing this season. And just overall, I think he's going to be a hot commodity this trade season in the NBA, because contenders, they're looking for that extra push, and who better to give you that extra push for contention than Eric Gordon? And in my opinion, if Rafael Stone really wants to be respectful to his players, he will put Eric Gordon on a contender, because Eric Gordon deserves to be on a contender. We traded PJ and Harden to contenders, same with Capella. So we need to trade Eric Gordon to a contender with, respect to what he's done for this organization. So, yes, those are the moves the Houston Rockets need to make this season and in the offseason next season. So basically, the Houston Rockets have quite a few moves to make. And if I'm Rafael Stone, I better start making those moves, shopping, looking to garner some interest, because, the Rockets, they're playing good basketball, and these guys that I just listed, other than Eric Gordon, they have no purpose on the team right now. Eric Gordon's the only person with the purpose on the Rockets, but the only reason I think we should trade him is because he deserves to be in a contending team, in his final good years of his career. So overall, comment down below your thoughts, like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more.